Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 443. 443, why didn't I say it like that in the first place? For March 17th, 2024, my name is Nathan Reitz-Bruce. Joining me this week is Andrew Roa McFain.
Oh, can't believe it. He made it back.
Did you hear the music?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And we're also joined by Connor the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
Hallo und willkommen zum den Reading Entertainment Outsagen.
That is correct, but we do not primarily. Well, let's face it. We do not primarily have an audience, but we do not primarily have a German-speaking audience either.
Well, maybe this is our chance to expand.
That would
and
be
to all of my friendly Deutschbags out there. I say hallo and willkommen.
Yes, I am back from Germany. It was fun. I had a good time. I want to say I still like Japan more. But it was still a fun time in Germany and able to get away from the country for a while. I have a fun experience that I have to share with you guys, but I'll do that when we're talking about the games we played, which reminds me, hey guys, where can I find you?
I got it. You could find us at aroa.website, and while you're there, you could check out two podcasts that I work on. One of them is Bug City Blues, another one is Clinton Score Classics.
I'm going to back up here. You do not work on Clinton Score Classics anymore.
I worked on Clinton Score Classics, and I work on Bug City Blues.
There you go. Technically correct. And
here, edit it and make it so I said that the first time. It'll be fine.
Edit? What's that? I don't know what this editing thing is.
Wait, you don't edit these episodes?
Not really.
Oh shit, dude! I've been telling my boss to check this out. I've been putting this on my resume. Shit.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Anyway, let's start with the row. What games did you play this week? Oh wait, yeah. What games did you play this week?
All right. This is weird.
I thought about whoring myself, but I'll do that in a second.
Yeah. Mostly, just playing the idle game that I talked about last week.
64.
I think. Yeah, I'm almost finished it. I think. I just got to a very significant plot point where the game kind of flipped itself on its head, which is pretty cool. It is, for being just what is essentially an idle game. Like there are some like factory automation elements. It is a very unique experience for what it is. I definitely think it's well worth the $5 or $6 entry. As long as you like that sort of game. And yeah, I do. Otherwise, I'm getting been still into VR chat. I mostly spend my time throughout the week looking for things to do on the weekend, and then I play with some people on the weekend.
Yeah, have you found? Because I know we've done it before, where you do like game shows. Have you done those?
Yeah,
have you done those recently?
Some of the game show worlds have been updated. They have Millionaire now.
Oh, good.
That sounds really like
it's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be. The time that we played, or one of the times we played, some people were like, I just wanted to play the game, and some people were goofing off, so I made them mad at me.
Most of my time spent in VR chat was alone and very quickly surrounded by squeakers. So seeing that there's a community for this game that's not a terrible experience, that's good to hear. Like, that's what I want people to be doing with their VR stuff. And I don't want it to be on MetaQuest, Meta World, Journey. What do they call it again? I don't remember.
Horizon Worlds?
Yeah, Worlds.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't want to have to do it on that.
Oh, it's very chill for the most part, and yeah, the game show stuff is really fun. I usually end up having to be the control room, but I don't mind. I like being the person on the back end. And it works really well with Jeopardy and Family Feud. Both they've got it set up where you can essentially be the host of the show as well as running the control room, which makes we have a very small group, so that makes things work out pretty well.
Yeah.
That sounds fun as fuck.
And what about you, Connor?
You want to know what game I've been playing?
Yeah.
Homie, I've been playing Helldivers.
Oh yeah.
And like I've been telling literally everyone I know to start playing this game.
Yeah, you did not do the format of the podcast last week.
Have you ever liked a game so much that you're just like you know what we did before we sat down? Like I sat down, not sat down. I talked to the road before the episode. I was like, you know what I really want to do is just talk about this game because it's something special. And I was like, yeah, all right.
See, I need to play it again because I played it before I went to Germany, and the servers were still kind of broken.
Homie, I guarantee I'm going to be playing it after this almost certainly if you want to get some game.
I'll see. I might also need to take a nap. I woke up at 4 a.m. because of jet lag.
I was going to ask you how are you adjusting? It took it hit me like a Mack truck on the way back. The way there I was pretty fine.
So it's not too bad. I wanted to sleep on the plane. On the way back, because it's, a 10-hour flight or whatever. And before we boarded the plane, there was a mentally handicapped kid who was screaming outside the gate. And I was like, oh man, I hope I am not seated near that kid. He was one row behind me, screaming the entire flight. So like, and it was clearly bothersome to me. But I'm also sitting there like, I feel bad for the parent because that's the parent's life, just dealing with that child. And like, I have to deal with this for 10 hours. She has to deal with this for the rest of her life. And I feel sorry for her. And that's also part of the reason I don't want kids is in case something like that happens and I'm like, oh, well, I now have to deal with this for the rest of my life. And I don't know if I could mentally handle that. So I wasn't able to sleep on the way back, but that's okay. I didn't play any games while I was gone. Well, I did play some slot machines because I looked up an arcade, and by arcade they meant tiny casino. Like just a bar with arcade slot machines. So I won €35. That was pretty good, and then I left. However, I want you to know one thing. All the trains shut down like 3 times while I was there.
That is the most German experience you could possibly have.
Yeah. So
like it could only be better if they were on strike while you were there.
No, they were on strike 3 times.
Yes, that is the most German experience you could possibly have.
So I had a plan on Wednesday. I go to Bruges early in the morning, spend the day in Bruges, and then I take a train back to Frankfurt. And then on Thursday, and then on Friday, I take a train up to Leer, where my friend lives. And so I make it to Bruges, and they did a strike on Thursday and Friday. The days that I was going to be on the train to go see my friend. And so instead of going back to Germany, I went up through the Netherlands and then took a bus from the Netherlands to Leer. Because normally there's a Netherlands train that goes into Leer, but a bridge went out, so I had to take a bus instead.
That's some travel luck, man.
And I get there. I get to Leer, and I exit the bus, and I just step off the bus. I only have like a backpack, and a guy comes up to me and he says something to me in German, and I'm like, and he pulls out something and shows it to me, and I'm like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and he's like, oh, you speak English? We're immigration. We saw your tweets. No. No, he was like, we're immigration. And I was like, oh, and there was like him, another guy, and a girl. And they're like, we need to, let me see your passport. I show him my passport. And he's like, you got anything that we should know about? Like any weapons, anything like that? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, come with us. Okay. And so they take me in. They're walking me towards this, the immigration room so they could check me out. And my friend sees me and she's like, hey, Nathan. And I'm like, hey, give me just a second. I got caught by customs or immigration or whatnot. And she thought I had made friends because I was joking with the immigration people. Because they're like, oh, did you bring any marijuana or cocaine, anything like that? And I was like, nah, I'm sorry. I'm not that much fun. You're not finding any of that on me. And so they take me into this room, and as I'm entering into this dark room, I'm like, man, I really hope this is actually immigration. Because Sarah might have been the last person to see me alive. My friend said, I saw him, he went into a room, and I never saw him again.
It was great. They were all laughing and smiling together. I didn't suspect anything.
Yeah. And so she thought I was like going to get exchange phone numbers and hang out or something like that. But we go in there and, they look through all my stuff. They ask me questions, make sure I'm, there legally and everything. And then, put on some gloves and pat me down. And honestly, it wasn't the worst Thursday night. So I exit and it was not bad. But I just thought that they were so much more relaxed than like immigration coming back into the United States or going anywhere where like you're just like grilled. Like, why are you here? I'm like, I fucking live here.
I will say I did have a guy in Germany point an MP5 at me because I had my Switch in my backpack.
Oh.
So as far as experiences go, they will turn it up to 11. But
I bet.
I guess you have to have a battery go through a sensor that you didn't notice or something.
Yeah.
He beelined right for me.
You're like, whoa.
I was like, Shies, what's up, homie?
No, apparently.
He spoke English.
Yeah, apparently they actually do that a lot when you come from the Netherlands into Germany, because a lot of drugs are legal in the Netherlands, and so a lot of people smuggle drugs from the Netherlands into Germany, and they just want to make sure that they're not a bunch of people bringing a bunch of drugs, and of course my friend's sister, she was coming over, and my friend's like, don't bring anything, and her sister's like, I'll be fine, and then the dog, like, they had a canine unit, and the canine unit was just like, her right there, her, and the immigration officer was like, whoa, you speak English too. So yeah, they stopped me, but they didn't find anything. It was all well hidden enough that they weren't able to find any of the drugs. But yeah, and then not only that, after I got back, the trains were back up for a couple days, and then they announced another train strike and airline strike. And I was just like, man, this is not good. So they did like 3.
You should really destroy all unions.
Yes, well, I actually appreciate it, the train strikes, and also the plane. Yeah, the plane strike would not have affected me because it closed down most airports except for the Frankfurt one. So that was pretty, but it didn't matter because they weren't striking on the day that I left anyway. So it was all right.
On an unrelated note, Frankfurt's got a really nice airport.
It's good. It's good. I had a lot of fun. I think the most fun I had was when I was hanging out with my friend, because traveling internationally, just having somebody that speaks your language, and a lot of the people, like when I traveled to Japan, I walk up to somebody and they don't expect me to speak Japanese. They don't look at me and go, hey, he knows Japanese. But if I walk up to somebody in Germany, I look enough like a German that they, because I'm partially German, that they're like, hey, you speak German? I'm like, nope, don't do that. But most of them speak some pretty good English, which was really nice. Oh, and everything's closed on Sundays? Why did
Everything's closed on Sundays.
Why did nobody warn me about this?
I feel like I did warn you about that. I was like, I think I might have said specifically, make sure you get your alcohol before Sunday, but maybe. I guess I could have been more specific.
Yeah. So I came in on Saturday and I was, pretty jet lagged, and I was like, man, I am so tired. And I just like, I got to the Airbnb and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the store, but I'm going to take a little itsy bitsy, and so I slept for 8 hours. And and I woke up and it was late, so I was like, whatever. And I just hung out at the Airbnb. And then on Sunday, I was like, why is literally everywhere closed? Every place was closed except for one pizza place that opened at like 6:30 p.m. And when I went there, all the tables were reserved.
Oh no.
Because it's the only place that you can eat at night on a Sunday.
Yeah, they probably make a fuck ton of money on Sunday night.
Yeah, so the lady's like, we're all reserved, I'm sorry. And I was like, that's okay. And she's like, you can order takeout. And I was like, fuck yeah, I can order takeout. That was my plan anyway. But yeah, it was fun. I'm sure I'll talk more about it later, but we're going to move on and we're going to talk about some news stories. And the first news story is one that you brought up. I thought we were going to talk about it last week, but then you just talked about Helldivers. I was going to say Hellraiser, and I was like, no, that's a different thing. Starbreeze has removed the CEO following Payday 3's poor performance.
Yeah.
Apparently it was that bad. Also, it's on sale right now for like $25.
Yeah, so as of, let me see what time this was, because I took a screenshot. As of 1:30 today, there was 0 people playing.
Damn!
It had a 407... Here, I'll share with you guys the screenshot that I took. 24-hour peak, 477 players. That's not great. And that's during a sale.
Yeah. Now,
Here, take a peek at that.
I doubt that it really matters. But it also is included with Game Pass. So that might affect some of those numbers, but yeah, that's not good.
It's pretty bad whenever the only people playing the game might be the people on Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, the all-time peak was 69,000. That's good, right?
Yeah, because all the people tried playing on the first day, and the game didn't fucking work, and all the people that came back the next day found out the game sucked.
Yeah. So now it's saying that Starbreeze has removed their CEO, and they said they need different leadership following a difficult period of instability in the wake of Payday 3's launch. What was the name? Jurgen Goldner? Please say the name correctly.
It's probably Jurgen Geldner.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
He's the interim CEO now. The previous one was Tobias Sogren. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so it's not very good. Payday 3. Have either of you actually played it?
I still don't own it. I played it when it was free.
Oh, did you?
I played it with you when it was free.
Yeah, that's the only time I played it too.
I did not know that was free for a period of time. Did you
It
guys?
It was the beta thing.
Oh, right, and that was bad. That was really, really bad.
It was very not ready to be let out of the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better now, but it's still not. Well,
I mean, is it really? The servers are probably better, but is the gameplay better?
You know, when I was playing with Jurga and Sarah, different Sarah, not the one I hung out with in Germany. When I was playing with them, it was all right. Like, it was fine, but my main issue is how many missions just aren't in it from the previous game. Like, it just felt so lackluster in how many missions were there.
Well, you see, now they could sell you 2 at a time for $9.99 each.
That's true.
It wasn't even that for me. It was just that, like, that there wasn't enough evolution in the good things to make it seem like it was worth being an entirely new game.
Yeah.
And also, it had always online DRM, and like that was why people couldn't get into the fucking game whenever first launched, or even during that beta period, whenever everyone was trying to log in, and for some reason they forced you to make a Starbreeze account to play the goddamn game, and then the Starbreeze authentication servers kept going down
because too many people are trying to get on the servers. Yeah,
I'm on their Twitter right now, and like it's pathetic that one of their biggest announcements is that they're adding a fucking offline mode. Like,
Yeah.
finally,
by popular demand.
Like, you remember the one of the more prominent games in history that had this exact same problem was fucking SimCity back in whenever the hell that was, like
2012, I think.
Yeah. Like
a long time ago.
At least in SimCity's case, there was kind of a reason for it. They just didn't execute it well. Here, it's purely, it has to just be for DRM, right? Like, I don't know why else. Either DRM or for like analytics gathering or some bullshit like that. Like, there was really no reason to have always online DRM in a game like Payday.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And not having a offline mode it was insane to me, because I was like, I just wanted to like test out missions, because there were some missions in Payday 2 that like we could solo. Like I could solo when I was good at the game. Like I could solo the bank run by myself. That's how soloing works. And I was like, oh, I could do offline and see if there's any missions I could solo, or at least, figure out before I play with other people. And nope, can't do it. Have to do it online, and randos will definitely join you unless you make it private. And then even then, your friends or people that you know might just end up joining on you. Anyway, not very good. And it's on sale. So if you guys want to buy it and we can play it together or something. No?
But Helldivers 2, bro.
That's true. I do have Helldivers 2.
See, that's a game that has always online, but it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I played it a couple weeks ago. Servers are probably better now.
It's fine.
Because I had some issues.
It's totally fine.
I had some issues with like AirFox. Like we were in a team and we'd go into the mission, and then he would be like, "Oh, I'm on the planet doing stuff," and I'm like, so I'd have to like exit his team and then just go back down to the planet.
No, it's super easy now.
Oh, good. And then apparently your friend Aroa, your friend John found us and just like joined on us a bunch, and we're like, "What are you? Why? What are you doing?" And
that's part of the game, man.
I know.
Orbital John strikes.
Yeah, he did blow me up at one point, so that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I think that you may have like not talked about the story, or you did talk about the story 2 weeks ago. The Yuzu emulator being dead.
No.
Yeah, I think we brought that up. That and Citrix being dead. It might have been 3 weeks ago now, but anyway.
No, we didn't.
No, yeah. See, I thought you didn't, because I was like, that's. I've heard other people talk about it.
I specifically addressed at the end of whichever podcast that we were going to talk about the Yuzu stuff, but then I was like, it doesn't really matter right now.
Yeah. So Yuzu,
because it didn't.
No, it didn't. So Yuzu's dead. It was a Switch emulator, and apparently they were making money for it, and so Nintendo was like,
they had a Patreon.
They had a Patreon,
but that was not. I want to make this very clear. Was not why it was taken down.
It was
making money off of something whenever it's illegal in the first place does not make it more. It does not like make it go from being illegal but okay to being illegal enough to sue over. Like that's not
right. So
double illegal.
What that is.
So from what I understand,
it's more illegal, but like it's still illegal in the first place.
So yes, let's back up there. Why was it illegal? Apparently, from what I've read, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it was because they didn't require firmware from a Switch
Yes.
to run games.
That seems to have been the major thing about Yuzu that allowed Nintendo to get away with suing them into oblivion, is that unlike Ryujinx, which is the other major, well, was the other major Switch emulator, Yuzu allowed you to run games while only requiring you to have the game. And you maybe needed to have a separate set of keys, but like specifically for the game or something like that. I don't remember. Switch emulation is weird because the Switch has a lot of shit trying to keep you from being able to pirate games for it, which didn't work out very well. But in the case of Ryujinx, you not only need to install firmware, you have to also get your own set of these keys for the local system, and then also the keys for assigning games.
Yeah.
With Yuzu, those local system keys were generated by the emulator. And also, you didn't need system firmware to run most games. There were some games that required certain things that were part of the Switch's system firmware, so you needed it. But they essentially, from what I have read from statements from this new fork of Yuzu that you brought up here, it sounds like they were doing some stuff to kind of work around the Switch's DRM, and once you start getting into that, that's whenever it becomes illegal, potentially. And it was illegal enough for Nintendo to sue them and then settle outside of court.
Right. For, what was it, $25 million?
It was, I don't think it was, I thought it was like 2.5 million. I think it was 2.5 million.
Yeah, maybe I'm adding a zero.
Maybe. I am not totally sure. It was at least 2 million. Maybe it was 20 million.
2.4. I added a zero.
Okay. Which like sounds ridiculous, but they were making $88,000 a month off of their Patreon. So, you know, that's kind of nuts. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that, well, it was because they were making money off Patreon, and that was why they were illegal. I'm just so fucking sick of people thinking that all you have to do is not make money off of it, and then it's not copyright infringement. And like, no, it's not. It's not how any of this ever works. It never worked that way.
So the new fork of it is called Suyu.
Yeah.
Which I like. And they have a
cheeky little fucking.
They have a clear stance against piracy. It says this emulator does not support or condone piracy in any form. And individuals interested in playing commercial games will need to provide encryption keys extracted from their own Switch consoles. Please, for the love of God, we don't want to get sued.
They have said that they are currently working on removing all of the shit that bypasses DRM from Yuzu. Anything that's remotely illegal, they're trying to strip out of the source code, which is for the best. Because like the thing is, like, Ryujinx is just blatantly not as good as Yuzu.
Yeah.
So it was like a pretty big blow to lose Yuzu. So it's pretty great to see, and not to mention there were a lot of add-ons for like mods for games that were specifically made for Yuzu. So like that was a lot of development that would have been lost.
Well, and
unless you're somebody like me that downloaded the source code.
Yeah.
And but
and let's be fair here. Like, you have to provide firmware from your Switch, but people find the firmware pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's
every copy of a Switch game on the internet has encryption keys with it. Like it's part of the package. There's no real concern about whether or not this is going to do anything to piracy. It's not going to have any effect on piracy whatsoever. And in fact, I think there are still a lot of people who have been playing games, pirating new games, at least ones that didn't necessarily work right on Yuzu.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people were just playing them on their actual Switch, whether they hacked it via it being a first gen Switch or they just put a mod chip in, because mod chips are relatively easy to install on the Switch.
Yeah, I have a first gen, like I have a day one Switch. So
yeah, me too.
I haven't hacked it yet because I just haven't felt the need to, because anything you can do with the Switch you can do on a Steam Deck. And so I just haven't done it, but it's super easy apparently. And I could probably get it done in like 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's hilariously easy. Like it's amazing that Nintendo has consistently fucked up the security on every single console it seems that they've released, like ever. So yeah.
What about the GameCube?
There's a fucking there's a no solder mod chip.
I know.
And disk drive emulator that you just like plug into the bottom of the fucking thing and it just works.
Yeah. Yeah, their idea, it was we're going to use mini DVDs. Oh, okay. See, and that worked out so well for Sega Dreamcast. Just being like, no, we're using a different type of CD, and everyone's like, yeah, we'll just compress it. Like, shit, we didn't think about that.
Yeah. I think probably like the N64 was like the only one that ever had any kind of resiliency, and that was just because it used fucking cartridges.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo and the original Nintendo had like lockout chips that kind of worked,
which were easily bypassed.
Yeah. The only thing that they did was a lot of times when you would press the power button and the red light would start flashing on the NES, that wasn't that the game wasn't being read, it's that the lockout chip just broke and was like, nah, we're not going to play that game right now. Turn it off and on again. Fucking anyway. We could complain about old consoles for the rest of our lives. But are either of you going to download Suyu? Or
once I have a game to play on my, like, Thousand Year Door is coming out, I think, soon.
I need to play Tears of the
Kingdom. Yeah.
I need to play Tears of the Kingdom.
That was... Still haven't played it?
I'm waiting to be able to play Tears of the Kingdom at, like, not 20 frames per second.
They have patches. Yeah, they have patches now.
Yeah.
Preferably on Steam Deck, but I'd understand if that's just too much to ask.
Yeah, you might need to get
I don't know.
You might need to get a Steam Deck too when it comes out.
Yeah.
Get working on that, Gabe.
Yeah, do it, Gabe. Or they have the Aya Neo next.
Run it on your PC and stream it.
That would work.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Stream it to stream it to the hospital when you're at work.
I mean, I could. I feel like our networking team would probably have all that sort of thing throttled.
Probably.
And not to mention the lag might be a little extreme.
It'd be all right. He'd be fine. It'd be okay. Hospitals have great internet, right?
Yeah, just ask Lures.
But yeah, I'll probably. I have Ryujinx, so I don't know how much of a difference it's going to be over. How much of a difference Suyu is going to be over Ryujinx.
So I did neglect to mention, there was, speaking of Tears of the Kingdom, I forgot to say, there was also the whole problem of, whenever Tears of the Kingdom got leaked, like a week early, Ryujinx came out and said, we don't support games that aren't out yet. So you couldn't really play Tears of the Kingdom in Ryujinx unless somebody, because there were like other people who were making patches for Ryujinx just to get Tears of the Kingdom working, but it did not work very well.
No.
Meanwhile, Yuzu was like, yeah, if you sub to our Patreon, the early access version supports certain games. And we're like directly patching Yuzu to work with a game that hadn't released yet. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's you gotta be a little bit more coy about that at least. Like, just be
Yeah.
like, we are actively working on Yuzu all the time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please don't pirate games. We do not support piracy.
Like, particularly doing the particularly putting it behind a paywall. Like damn guys, like
they're just asking for it because Nintendo is highly litigious, and you know it makes sense because in copyright law you have to defend your copyright. So they are they think they do.
Law.
Trademark law. I'm sorry. I'm not a lawyer, but you have to like defend your shit when you own it, and they take that to heart. They take that to heart. And
yeah, Nintendo just hates everyone that isn't them. That's true. That's what Nintendo is.
Yeah. But yes, I'll probably download Suyu and see how it works compared to Ryujinx, but I haven't had really any trouble playing any games that I've wanted to play with Ryujinx. But yeah, also the way
I was going to say a minute ago was like, what else is left to play on the Switch?
The 1,000-Year Door apparently.
Yeah, I guess 1,000-Year Door remake, and then I guess the new Princess Peach game that's basically a Kirby game might be cool.
There are a couple games. So Tears of the Kingdom, obviously, I haven't played that yet. Super Mario RPG. I haven't played that yet on the Switch. So those two games.
That's legitimately really good remake. And I'm surprised that you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't realize you were saying you. Yeah, no, you should get on that.
Yeah, so the thing is, I play so many games and then I get distracted and I'm playing Like a Dragon, and then Dragon's Dogma's coming out, and WWE 2K24 is coming out or came out, and like I don't have enough time. And if I was a full-time streamer, it would just be me like playing my backlog. I would quit my 40-hour-a-week job and just play games for 40 hours a week and just try to like eat up my 200 games in my backlog. Anyway,
I would definitely highly recommend because I believe you can't, at least last that I saw, you can't actually download Suyu directly. You have to compile it.
Interesting.
Does of the shit?
Oh, so what you're saying is just use Ryujinx. That's what you're saying.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Like, if anything, I would say go find a download.
Are you cutting out? I'm sorry, you're cutting out for me.
You sound fine to me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I
stopped talking mid-sentence because my brain turned off for a second.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still talking, and I was like, did it die? Did my audio cut out?
End of thought.
Just had a seizure.
Okay, good. We're
no. If anything, I would say download a older, whatever build of Yuzu that you can find that supports Tears of the Kingdom, because you should really play that game at a high frame rate.
Yeah. Does Ryujinx still not support Tears of the Kingdom very well?
I'm sure it does. I'm just assuming that it's not going to be anywhere near as good as Yuzu's support, because Yuzu's just generally been considered the de facto standard Switch emulator.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know if the FPS Plus mod works as well on there compared to Yuzu.
Okay, that makes sense. We're going to move on to our last story, and this is a game that came out, I mean, I want to say not that long ago because it's still fresh in my memory, but it probably came out it probably came out like a year or two ago or 12 years ago, and I'm just like, it came out not that long ago, right? TemTem is pretty much done. TemTem is a Pokemon game, basically. It's an MMORPG that is very inspired by Pokemon. And
oh shit, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
See, we're so fucking old. Time has no meaning.
Okay,
so 4 years ago.
It went into early access 4 years ago. The full release, quote unquote, was September 2022.
Okay, so like a year and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. Like the full release was about a year and a half ago, and they're already done. They decided that they're not going to have any more microtransactions, and they're just they're not going to have any major updates. So, and I guess this was, they said, hey, we're going to have lots of microtransactions, and the players were like, but what? And the devs were like, yeah, we want to have microtransactions. And the players did not like that. And so the devs were like, we're just going to take our ball and go home. No more updates for you. Which kind of sucks. It's not great. It says, in a lengthy TemTem update post, developer Crema outlines how the Steam game's microtransactions, which include cosmetic battle pass called the Tamer Pass, and separate purchasable cosmetics will no longer be purchased in the multiplayer game using real money. We understand the monetization system for TemTem was deemed out of place for a lot of players, with our game not following the traditional rules of a live service game. We want to reassure you once again that no content was robbed from TemTem by having this MTX system in place, but we do understand that the displeasure goes beyond this, and we have come to understand your position on TemTem having microtransactions as it drifts further from a live service game. For this, we sincerely apologize, and we are taking our ball and going home. I added the last part. It does say that in early June, there's going to be update 1.7, which will remove all of the microtransactions. And then they will have a 1.8 update, and then they're done. There'll be no further updates after that. I have the game. I played it for a while, and it was all right. Wasn't as good as Palworld.
Yeah, I think that was the probably the reasoning, is that the game's just not popular enough to make it sustainable.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, at least they're not going to be shitheads about it and like leave the microtransactions in and then just let the game rot. Like by removing the microtransactions, at least the full experience is going to be there in the future, assuming you can play it offline.
Well, and
I don't know if you can or not.
I don't think you can. But also, like, a big part of it is I understand, they need a way to generate money. And one way to generate money is microtransactions. And if you're a free-to-play game, that is a big way to get money. They are not a free-to-play game. You buy the game. It's buy-to-play. Mm-hmm. And so the other way for them to make money would be expansion packs or DLC. Which apparently they were
also
not
had a battle pass.
Yeah, which they were not interested in making. That's got to be part of the microtransactions thing, right? I'm assuming they're going to.
Well, it was. They had like a premium currency and all that typical bullshit.
Yeah, so there are ways for them to make money, but I mean, I personally would have preferred if they went the Guild Wars way, which is just buy the expansion packs when they come out or DLC when it comes out, instead of microtransactioning all the time. Apparently they did not like that, and they're just ending development. I know that there was some backlash for another company that we spoke about earlier, Starbreeze, something to do with microtransactions and Payday 2 that pissed off a lot of people.
About it. It still hurts.
Where they're like, no, don't worry. We're not gonna have any XP boosts or anything like that. And then I don't know, the CEO went up to the PR guy and was like, hey, remember when I told you that we weren't gonna do any XP boosts? And the PR guy's like, yeah. He's like, spin it and make it good that we're gonna have XP boosts. And the PR guy's like, but I can't. They're gonna hate me. And
we're gonna have XP boosts. We're gonna have microtransactions. We're gonna have loot crates. All these things that we promised we're never gonna do.
Yep.
It hurt, man. Like,
guys, we need money.
Almir Listo is like holding a pistol up to the intern's head, and it's like, if we don't make $30,000 by this Friday, I'm gonna fucking pull the trigger.
I do have a question. Is Aroa popping for you every once in a while?
Sounds fine, I think. I haven't really
I
say. What's your opinion on this, Earl?
I think video games
Interesting.
are bad.
No, he sounds fine.
He sounds fine now. It's just every once in a while when he like chimes in, there's like a weird pop right at the beginning. It's
You
weird.
know, my sister-in-law was having that same problem on Saturday,
Oh,
and it was just Discord taking a shit for some reason.
oh, okay. That
I'm
that makes
I'm
sense.
blaming Nathan's computer until we find exactly what it is.
Well, I mean, if it's happening, so she was having issues with you doing it, or with it was happening with her.
People, yeah, just people randomly. She would hear like popping whenever people were talking. It sounds like Discord's audio engine has some kind of audio buffer problem.
Oh, good. That's lovely. Whatever, we'll deal with it. Anyway, TemTem is dead.
Okay, no one's gonna get this far anyway.
No,
Right.
no, nobody's getting this far. It's okay. Air Fox, if you're here, press the like button. Give us a 5-star rating. We have 6 5-star ratings on Spotify. 6. And then Bug City Blues has 8.
No, you know what? 6 5-star ratings for a podcast that has zero marketing whatsoever and is essentially the same as like every other gaming podcast on the entire planet. Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
we'll take it. But yeah, TemTem's dead. So the stories we did this week: Starbreeze fired their CEO. Switch Emulator Tsuyu is now out, and TemTem is dead. I want to thank you for being here, Aroa.
When did recapping the headlines become a thing?
Listen, I'm just trying to draw this out as much as I can.
Oh, did we not hit an hour yet?
I don't think we've hit an hour yet. No.
We're at like 47 minutes. So Helldivers too, everyone.
Hey, I guess since TemTem's dying, now they're putting out a Vampire Survivors type game.
Oh, are they?
That's TemTem. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. No, it's fine. We don't have to go
Tem
full.
Swarm.
We don't have to go to the full hour. It's okay. I want to thank you.
Player online co-op.
Thank you for being here, Aroa.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for being here, Connora.
I was here.
And I've, of course, been your host, Nathan Reensbruth. We'll be back next week talking about some more news stories. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Sorry, this was a slow news week for gaming.